Good morning. This is 1, 2, 3. This is day 5 of our journey, our fourth national park that we want to be visiting, Capitol Reef. This one is much more remote in terms of like less popular than Zion and Bryce Canyon in Utah. There are only a few motels around, like not big cities. We're gonna check it out how it's like. It's actually in a pretty big space, and like there are different districts of the national park. But we're only going to be at the Fruitia section. We won't go to Water Pocket or the Cathedral Valley areas because they're pretty far, and for Cathedral Valley specifically, the roads are not paved. You would need a car that has like high clearance, higher off the ground. Um, my car is pretty close to the ground. Even like compared to other cars of this brand like BMWs, this old 2011 one is even like much lower, closer to the ground. And because of that, I don't want to risk it at all. We don't want to be getting stuck in the middle of nowhere and trying to ask for like help when your cell service is not even picking it up. But pretty stoked today. I rested a little bit more than compared to yesterday. I woke up around 7:45, took a shower, got coffee in the motel room. The motel I stayed was pretty good. Definitely very remote. It was not like a check-in basin or anything very old school. It was nice. They gave you the access code, and you just needed to use the code like to enter your room. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Checkout was at 10 a.m. But which is a bit early, but since I'm heading out to the national parks early in the morning, didn't matter that much. Yeah, this is how Capitol Reef looks like so far. Like I looking at the national park information like website, it was a little bit difficult to figure out like what's the most popular things here to do and what you should be doing, because there are these like other parts of the national park, as I said, but majority of the people just do Frutia, and but even for that one, like it wasn't very clear to me what I should be doing here. So I did some research on like other people's blogs. Um, I will also ask the park ranger. I think today, like the hikes that we'll be going are not going to be crazy long. We want to be having it like more smooth sailing, more just we came, we checked this place out while we were pretty close by, kind of like, and we'll see if you want to go to Canyonlands National Park tomorrow, or if you want to go to a different place. Depends on how today goes and what we see here, if you enjoy it or not. And Canyonlands, that one is a little bit more popular than this one, Capitol Reef. Um, but both give you different vibes. And yeah, as you can see, lots of remote areas. There's a panorama point, a pull out right before the National Park Visitor Center. I'm gonna go there. It's getting warm. Now it's like 50 Fahrenheit. It's pretty early for it to be 50 Fahrenheit. Sun is shining compared to yesterday. Yesterday, when we started 9 a.m., it was probably still 35 Fahrenheit, like right above freezing temperature when we started our hike yesterday, or it was still maybe below. Today I also woke up later, but it seems like this area has a different terrain, weather temperature compared to Bryce Canyon. You can also see this has like more desert like structures in terms of its plants, and soil, whereas yesterday you were around like Bristol Cone Pines, like it was more like a foresty timber area, which also kind of explains why this area is a little bit hotter today. At least that's my. Oh wow, that was a beautiful bird flying. At least that's my understanding. There's the chimney rock. So basically, they're looking at that rock. It looks cool, but nothing crazy. That's the chimney rock on the left side.
In 800 meters, turn right onto Panorama Point Road.
Like, so this is probably the chimney rock, maybe a different one. Not exactly sure. It's getting hot, man. 50 Fahrenheit. Sun is out there. Also, my lips are getting a little bit dry. I forgot to use a lip balm care the last couple days. I have to be mindful about that, not to get my lips cracked, because then it gets like so annoying if you have that. Yeah,
turn right onto Panorama Point Road. Then you'll take your first right onto North Panorama Point Road.
And then you have the Goosenecks Overlook. People said like this place is good for sunset. So depending on our time, like we might come back here again.
Turn right onto North Panorama Point Road. Then you will arrive at your destination.
Take it at Panorama Point.
You have arrived.
Oh wow, okay. I see the appeal. You're gonna get out of the car. Let's park this way. Normally we would park vertically, but right now this feels more like a place to park. Okay, I'll just close the car, turn off the car. I'll turn it on again in a bit. Let's go out. Okay, it's pretty warm. Today is also a Monday, like a regular work week day, so I'm guessing there won't be too many people, given that this is already a less popular park. So we're gonna be mostly by ourselves. Yeah, these are pretty sick views. Really nice views out there. Let me correct the adjustment. Ow. Yeah, also yesterday I got pulled over by a cop because I was speeding in a little town. That little town had the speed limit 30. I didn't see it because I'm more used to towns having like speed limits 40. I didn't see it in the night, the speed limit being 30, and I was going like around 49, and the cop pulled me over. And yeah, that was a bit bad. I should have been more careful on the speed limit. These areas were pretty remote, so it was getting late in the night, but I should have paid more attention. I apologize to the police officer, and I did everything I needed to do. Talk to the police officer, tell them like, because they typically ask why did they stop me, and then I said, yeah, I was speeding. I was probably going 10, 15 over. And we talked, and I gave my driver's license. I asked all the things. My driver's license is in my wallet. Can I reach out and like grab it? Is that okay? And then he asked, do you have any guns? I said, no, I don't have any guns. And then he said, yeah, you can grab your license from your wallet. Then I got my license. I gave it. And then he asked if this is privately owned by me, the car. And I said, yes. And then he asked for registration. I said, registration is in a glow box. Is it okay if I reach out to the glow box? He said, yes. And then I got my registrations. I had a few ones, like the new one, the old one. So for the first one I pulled out was the old one. I said, this is the old one, but let me find a new one. and the old one was also just from like 3 weeks ago. So he was fine with that, but like I still grabbed a new one and then gave it to him, and then we talked, and yeah, that's just how it happened. And then I left, and he gave me advice on like the deers in this area in the nighttime, especially. Just watch out, like go slow, please. Make sure you don't hurt anybody and yourself. I'll be more careful, like especially going in these little towns. They each have their own speed limit, each have their own different regulations, so gotta be mindful of the local area. You can't just assume everywhere is a state highway and like go 50s, 55s. You can't do that. Yeah, I'm kind of more used to Michigan, different places like that. You have higher speed limits. I was kind of surprised, but I guess like because of the wildlife and all that, they make the speed limit much lower here. Yeah. Yeah, so this is telling about like the night sky, that the Milky Way rises over Chimney Rock on a clear summer night. So that one is the Chimney Rock, if you can see that one that I was pointing out. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Wonder what's like, how much far you can go up on that road, like on that little trail. Probably we just get to the top of the hill and then you just see it from there. The Goosenecks Overlook is also here. I think I'll do the Goosenecks sometime in the day, but first I want to talk with the park rangers to figure out what should I be doing today, because I said the internet information, given that this is a very much less popular park, wasn't that great. Other people said the Cathedral Valley area was very beautiful. It's very remote. There's the Temple of the Sun and the Temple of the Moon. Big rock structures in the middle of nothingness. But yeah, we won't be able to go to those areas, so we're gonna just be in the fruity area. So yeah, slow start today compared to yesterday, but we'll have a good time. Dude, like, this is crazy, man. This is just all this landscape is crazy. It feels like aliens did it, or like some extraterrestrial, or like some holy spiritual powers did all this, right? All this land. It's just nuts. Imagine back in the day, like going through here, riding your horse, seeing all this, trying to find water supplies. Yeah, crazy, very difficult, right? Even today, when we have all this technology, it's so remote, like there's nobody around. How do you survive in this kind of landscape, in this setting, right? Yeah, this sign tells about, there's a sign here, it's telling about the clean air. So this place has exceptional air quality. Yeah, they tell about how they monitor the air quality here. Oh wow, actually this little site is really nice. You get to see beautiful views. So I'm gonna place you on this rock and take some pictures. Wow, very beautiful. I love a lot of these roads that curve, and then if a road is like going towards a cliff or a mountain or big rock structure, and then you have the sun, like this is really gorgeous view. Yeah, I wish I had more coffee and I could just be sipping my coffee at this panorama point. It's very pretty, very, very pretty. Yeah, there's definitely some gods out there, or spiritual being, some shit, man. It's just as a very little individual, like with what power you have, what impact you can have, like looking at these big grand structures of nature just feels so small, and you feel like you're like a little very little dot in all of this, and there has to be some powers that are shaping this whole grand things that's way beyond your imagination, whether it's physics, whether it's laws of nature, whether it's gods, whether it's aliens, whatever it is, there has to be something, because as an individual with your given lifetime, your understanding just feels so difficult to be able to comprehend all this. You just feel the need to create an entity in your brain, kind of, like something that represents all these things that you are not able to comprehend, and then associate all of these things with that entity that you created. Yeah, that's what I believe in. I don't know what religion, what stuff to believe in. I just know that there's something out there. I cannot tell you whether it's Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, Taoism, whatever. I cannot tell you which one is correct. Probably, in my opinion, everything is almost the same way, as we all humans have the same shared resources and like humanity. It's just different ways of understanding. People have come to understand things in a different way in different regions, but it's kind of similar to as like how we eat food. Like, whatever is local to you, you like make food and you eat that. In different regions of the world you see like different food, but at the end of the day the goal is the same. You have to eat some food and to survive, and you're trying to make it as enjoyable as possible for you while eating that food. Figuring out your resources. I think same goes for this whole spiritual religion realm. Like, we all have the same need, that we don't know why we're here, we don't know why we're living exactly. We have these grand things in front of us with whatever we're experiencing through our physical, mental mediums, and we just have to we are just like trying to define what this experience is like through our own lens, and everything is almost kind of the same, but in different regions we do different things. That's what I believe in. And all the ones that just preach that you have to be a good citizen, good human, don't hurt others, try to support others, try to take care of yourself, try to take care of your neighbors, other people, don't be greedy and all these things. Like, as long as you are in those kind of ethical paths, what makes you believe, I fully respect that. That's kind of how I see it. Yeah, enough with the spiritual talk. Let's go back to our car and go to the visitor center. Yeah, but it's very pretty out here. I think at this point you had all of you women watching these recordings kind of an understanding of who I am, how I think. Yeah, I mean, right now it's one-way interaction, right? I show you what I think, what my life is. Eventually, down the line, it could be interesting to have your opinions, your thinking that interacts, because yeah, that will also help me figure out, you know, what others feel, what others think, and that's learning. That's always learning. Okay, back to the car. All right, see you. Hi, we are at the Capitol Gorge Trail, looking at the Pioneer Register. If you see, this is the trail. That way is where my car is, and on these walls you get to see like people from like hundreds of years ago, 1883, like writing their names on the wall, putting down. It's called Pioneer Register. You can see a lot of 1888, 1911, 1914, some Cook, James Ellis Pritchard, Charles Payne, Charlie Payne, Royal Hunt. I mean, some of these are like newer, and some of these are old. I don't know which ones are which. I mean, the closer you get to the bottom, you see like newer ones. The more up top, you see the older ones. And there's like one very special one that says Merlin or something. It has like a lot of writing on there. It's not very visible. You're not able to see because it's all so far. But it's called Pioneer Register. It's kind of interesting to see how old days like people mark their names to be knowledge that they were here. And now that this is a national park and it's being protected, on the signs before you enter this trail, it says do not do vandalism, do not put your name out there at all. Which is kind of interesting, right? Because now, like, we get to see the people who put their name hundreds of years ago, they were able to put it, but now you're not able to put it. Contradictory, right? In the sense that, oh, this is now a landmark because old days people put it, but now you're saying you shouldn't put it. Kind of, I get it. I understand the reason, because now it's like much more popular. There's going to be so many etchings, carvings on the wall, and we will damage the nature and its authenticity. But at the same time, back in the day, we celebrated in some way for these people to have come through and like add their name. So I would recommend the National Park Service to actually add a sign here, and maybe they can like provide a QR code or something like that through the phone, and they can say, hey, all these people back in the day, they went through, added their name. We know that you have also come through here and you would probably want to add your name too, but we don't want it to be on the walls anymore of the nature. We want to protect the nature. So how about you add your name to this logbook entry journal that we have online, and this will be accessible for other people to see as well. I know that like reception here is not that great, but you can make this happen. I think this would at least be a better way for people to communicate with the past and still preserve some kind of tradition. And also, you don't get to see a sign in front of this explaining that, oh, people have on the trail itself have marked these things. I think probably their reasoning was to not encourage people to be adding their names on it. But if you have like such a structure where you still
provide that for people, but it's not on the main natural stones itself. I think people will do it still, and they'll be respectful. That's my take. But this trail is pretty easy, pretty smooth. You can also go all the way to the tanks after the Pioneer Register. I went to the bottom part of the tank. Tanks are like these water collection areas, natural tanks, but right now there is no water, so I didn't go all the way up to the top to see, because as you can imagine, there's some incline from the top to the bottom. The water is flowing through and it's getting collected in these pools, in these tanks. But because there was no water, I said, okay, I'll just return back. I have a few other hikes that I want to do today. I want to do the Grand Wash and Hickman Bridge, and maybe we'll add Rim Overlook from Hickman Bridge, and let's see, maybe Cassidy Arch, but probably not. And after we go back to our car, we'll start driving. I'll record there, and in that recording you're going to see very gorgeous, beautiful landscapes. For now I'm pausing to preserve my battery. Bye.
Okay, off we go. Now we're returning from Capitol Gorge at the end of the scenic drive. We're gonna go to Grand Wash because of the Grand Wash Trail. Now this road is like pretty fun. You get to see lots of cool nature. I really like this one. I love all gravel roads, but some are more fun than the other ones. This one is pretty fun. You get to see like lots of nice views, and the landscape is gonna be changing in a bit. It's gonna be more brown color and interesting rock formations, but that will be after the gravel road. And this gravel road for now, like this is just the general vibes. Yeah, oh wow, we got a little puddle, as you can see. I was probably going a little bit faster than I should. Like on the way coming here, I was going very slow, but now I got excited because I knew like how it looks like. And that's the Golden Throne. If you see up top, you can do a trail to go to a viewpoint that sees the Golden Throne better. And that one is a strenuous, difficult hike. You add lots of elevation gain, and I am not interested in that today. But the park ranger said that it's one of their favorites. So you have a lot of time and interest in like more difficult hikes, and can do that one. That's also from the same parking lot that we were before we started driving at the Capitol Gorge area. Yeah, really nice. Yeah. You see how like in the walls of the cliffs mountains you can have like these interesting holes inside them, some geological formation. It's pretty cool to see those. oh, God bless America. And joke aside, bless me. Yesterday I was feeling a little bit like a back in the throat, like some like pain, but it was very little. I thought I was gonna get sick, but I didn't get sick. And hopefully, fingers crossed, throughout the rest of the trip we don't get sick. We take care of ourselves, eat good food, get plenty of water, good energy, yoga snacks, bars, sleep, try to sleep well, at least like 6-7 hours. Like so far I've been sleeping like 6 hours most of the days, then some days 7-8 hours. 8, I think only one day I slept probably like 8 hours. Most of the days it was like something between 6 and 7. Yeah, I know it's not as ideal. Ideally I should be sleeping like between 7 to 8, but yeah, sometimes this is what you gotta do. But it's kind of overlooked when like people go on journeys, vacations, trips. The adventures, they're like very excited, and they assume it's always gonna be a fun time, always be gonna be a great time. But like health is very important, right? Like you gotta make sure that you don't get sick and you really don't get injuries, because even if you're gonna go on the most exciting trip ever, if you get sick or injured, like that trip is gonna suck. So you want to make sure, no matter what you do during your adventure journey, always make sure you're healthy and like having, take your rest when needed, so that you get to enjoy the whole experience rather than having a great time for a few days and then third day getting sick and like the rest of the trip like sucks, and then you like, fuck, I didn't want to do it this way. Yeah, now you're like slowly we're gonna get like more brown rocks. And in this region in Utah, all these like reddish brownish colors are coming from the iron and manganese. It's like basically iron oxidized and gives you this color. That's a very, very unique Utah vibe. There are like some other parts of US also has this close by vicinity, some other states, but yeah, Utah is definitely known for these beautiful brown areas. Like all the national parks that you can go to has some form of these. Bryce Canyon, Zion. Today, Capitol Reef. Previously, I went to Arches. Arches has also these like beautiful colors. Rocks. Then tomorrow we're probably gonna go to Canyonlands, and I'm assuming Canyonlands also has that to some level. And now we're back on the paved road. So then this. I'm trying to go like really slow so that the GoPro doesn't fall off. I think. Sorry about that. It's kind of warm, so not gonna lie. Outside is not that warm, but the sun coming in and I'm wearing like 2 layers in the car, like I get pretty warm. So I'm turning the AC on. And I want the outside and inside temperatures to be somewhat closer, so that when I stop and like go out, I don't feel very big difference in temperature change.
Yeah.
That is a little bit demoralizing. Once you like right before you go to the trail, you feel like, fuck, it's cold. Luckily for us, it's not that cold. Like it's only 48 Fahrenheit, which is probably like 10 Celsius. or maybe 8, 9. Yeah, you see more like red colored formations. Yeah, like these washes. They're called like shaped washes. When they're on the right side, you don't get to see them as much, but maybe like once we are making this turn across, you can see the rock formations, and at the bottom you can see the washes that open wide enough. Such a cool landscape to look at. Wow. This is so beautiful. Gorgeous. Yeah, it's like as you go through a lot of these national parks, one after another, you kind of get used to seeing very cool things, and you're like bar for like getting, oh my god, it's so cool. It lowers down, but even with that, like this area is very, very beautiful. This one on the right is like called Egyptian temple. Oh man, look at this. This is so gorgeous. You're not able to see the right side as much, but yeah, like I'll help you out. Look at that. That is gorgeous. These formations. Oh boy, it's lovely. Very, very lovely areas. Ah, such a cute dog. Yeah, that is the dream. Having an RV, a camper, a dog, and hopefully great companions. Your partner or partners, depends on what kind of vibe you're going for. Your friends, maybe family, maybe even kids. Depends on what you're trying to get out of life, and depends on your age. For me, that's 5 years down the line, at least. Having kids, I have a lot of other things that I want to do before having kids, because having kids is gonna bring a lot of responsibility and increase the freedom I have to some limit, but it's gonna be worth it. I'm gonna enjoy it a lot, but I need to get some things out of my system before I make that up. And also find great partners in life that will provide me a lot of support raising the kids. Yeah, this one's called the Slick Red, right? Whoa. And in the far distance, you can see like the beautiful colors of the landscape. So gorgeous, so gorgeous. Yeah, for some reason, I've been thinking about food, because past 2 days I had burger-ish sandwich things, but they were okay. And then before that, I had like diner style eggs. Like one of them was amazing, but I feel like because I've been going on burger, egg, and just snacks, I kind of crave some more like stew style, warm, more cozy, homey feeling food. And the best I can get in these kind of areas is probably like a chili. Let's see if we can get that today. We're like so privileged, like being able to go to a grocery store, buy the things that you want, like cook the things that you want, like salmon, chicken, beef, pasta, rice, lentil, all different kind of things. It's great, man. So much opportunity that we have, and also that's for cooking yourself. But if you don't want to cook yourself, order to your spot a lot of things, you know, like from different restaurants, and especially in US, like there's multicultural dynamic where you can get like food of all cultures: Korean, Thai, Japanese, Mexican, Ethiopian, Burmese, Turkish, Afghan, Somalian, dude, like literally like whatever you want, like French, German, name whatever country, name whatever culture, that there's something in US for that, given how multicultural this country is. Yeah. I think that is the thing that now US is facing because of all this immigration things, right? Or in Super Bowl, Bad Bunny performing fully in Spanish. I think US has always been the place where migrants come, at least United States of America. We're not talking about the continent of US, Americas, because it's like, well, people used to live here. But then we're talking about this European influence of America, right? Like all these people who came earlier in the days, they were coming more from Europe, and they had, even though they have like a lot of differences in their cultures, like they do tend to have some similarities compared to other parts of the world when it becomes much more different. And for many long years, the language also as English has become like the main cultural connector in US. Now with like multiculturalism increasing, globalism increasing, you're seeing like a lot of other people in US using different languages to communicate. And what's gonna happen in US? How is US gonna be able to hold that multicultural sentiment value that like you come here and like you prosper here, this is a country for everybody, I want you to be here, while preserving some common thread of what it means to be an American, and like the values and how do we organize this American culture and life? Is it through just the language? Like how, right? Like making that happen, it's such a difficult problem, and I understand the frustration of people from all aspects, whether it being the more European-centric Americans, older generations like Italian immigrants or Irish immigrants versus like the Latino communities or other countries. I understand everybody has to some level some correct things they are complaining about or like discussing, bringing value to the table. But if US wants to survive, they have to do something about this where they preserve a common ground between people and like connect them with love and support, and remind everybody that no matter where you're, how you grew up, where you came from, this is America. And it's not that America, you're forced this culture, it's more that we want to do these things all together, and let's make it happen in a more constructive way. It's extremely difficult, and unfortunately for America, there's no going back from like multiculturalism it is there. Like once, so the thing is like with a lot of processes, a lot of systems, once you put something in, it becomes so difficult to remove it from the system completely. You have to do it typically very harsh and it's not easy, or you have transition periods take a lot of time and like a lot of effort. So I don't see US gonna be just like, we don't want any immigrants, we don't want any other nationals and other cultures in our country, we just want to be European like old school Anglo-Saxon European centric, like very Christian religion and all those like old values of US. You can do it, but if you do it, like it has to be very extreme, and other ideals of US is not gonna like coincide with that. Like the idea that like you can come here and like make things happen and like we will improve the economy and provide freedom for everybody, like that's not gonna work. So one thing has to defeat the other one in terms of ideologies, and not every single thing is like compatible. And as I said, like either it's gonna be a crazy battle, or people will like get together, educated people who know the communities, people who listen to people, who are respectful, people who will like, you know, not elect, but oh, okay, thank you. And they will have to figure out how to proceed forward, because in my country it has happened. We had this divide, and the big political divide sucks, and it hurts the country all over. And I don't want that to be the case for US. I don't want Republicans, Democrats fighting each other and trying to destroy each other's ideas. I see that like there are good points in both sides in some aspects, and how do we reasonably get together and like make progress together for the people of America, for anybody who came here to make a living, to support for their communities, to get support for themselves. Like, yeah, very, very difficult to very, very difficult to so such complex challenges. And it's so much easier for people to go to the political divide than to fight, because hate is easy. Hate is easy. Love should be there for, but hate is so much easier for many people. But I believe we can go through the hard route. We can love each other. We can make things happen. Nobody has to fight. I mean, we will fight in some way. We will have fights through discussions. We will make things happen. I'm an optimistic and realist at the same time. Yeah, too many ideas going through my brain, but like, I'm kind of sad to see US being in this political divide and like in turmoil, because that's what happened to my country, and I don't want that to happen. I just want all of us to be able to make peace with each other and figure out the way forward. But yeah, too much about politics. Now coming back to our hikes. This is the Grand Wash area. We're gonna do the Grand Wash Trail. That should be fun. And thank you for hanging out with us.
Hi. So this is the narrowest part of the Grand Wash Trail. It's been a nice trail overall. It's kind of similar to the Capital Gorge, just a little bit wider. But this is the narrow part, if you can imagine. Landscape is like similar. You have like these holes on the walls. It's nice. I liked it. It's been good, but it's kind of similar to the previous trail. So if you had to pick one, I would say choose this one. This one is a little bit more grand, but still drive up to the Capital Gorge area, because I think drive up there was like fun. Yeah, look at this. It's pretty cool. You can actually sleep down there. It's like really nice area. Now, yeah, this is kind of like a bend. You see, it's pretty cool. This is the more of the famous part of this trail. Yeah, I think like also I'm kind of getting a little bit more fatigue and getting boredom in the journey. It can happen sometimes, you know, like it's not that easy to be on your own for many days in a row if you're just used to being with people all the time, and also like all the stimulations that we have, our phone, TV, internet, you get a lot of things showed up to you that kind of prevents you from boredom. If you're not a person who actually does hobbies and like activities and, you know, does more producing craftsmanship, kind of more cooler ways of removing the boredom out of their life. Whereas if you're just a general consumer in this world, like you have all these like technological stimulation plus people stimulation coming through, that gets you out of boredom. So trying to deal with that. I think I'll be fine. Just I think, you know, I know during this trip there will become times like this, a little bit boredom and not sure how to spend time. I think I love the nature here. After seeing so many national parks, you kind of get tired as well. I think today I just need like some good rest. Try to do a little bit different things. Past couple of days we had just been doing non-stop, like all day national park, and in the night time driving up to the next national park. I think today we have to break that cycle, and somehow I don't know how to make that happen. Maybe if there's a movie theater that we can go somewhere in before the next national park or after the national park, next one, I'll try to do that. That could be a fun activity. I think also now that it's a Monday, right? It's a weekday. There are less people on the trail. I think this is a less popular national park as well. At least when you see other people on the trails, it gets exciting. You see like, hi, hey, time passes by easily. Another thing is because it's a Monday, and next week my work will start, my new employment, and there's this unknown of how the work is going to be. It's going to be more intense than my previous job, how I'm going to be able to cope with all that, and will I be sacrificing other aspects of my life. Those kind of worries I think are hitting a little bit more than last week, because last week it was like beginning of the trip, I still have the weekend, there's more than a week. But now we're actually getting closer to the new employment. There's more of a reality kick-in happening, being like, I'm gonna work really hard starting on next week, and we should always work hard, but how fun is it gonna be? I believe in the company, I believe in the people are friendly, and I'm excited to be building things. I think it's gonna be a great experience, but you know, as always, uncertainty kind of brings its own dark sides, so trying to navigate that, reminding myself that yeah, I get to enjoy this time of unemployment between jobs and get to do this whole cool trip, and once we're back to the grind, I'm gonna learn a lot. It's gonna be fun, and I'm gonna build new connections, new people to spend time with, a new environment. So some parts of the change might not be great, but most of it is gonna be great, and I'm excited for it. At least I'm trying to tell myself that I'm excited for it. because that's how it is, man. You just gotta pick your brain and stay positive and stick to it. You'll persevere. That's how you do things. Like yesterday, one of the persons that I met during watching the Super Bowl, they were saying, "Oh, I heard like this other person when they were doing this trail, they got injured. They broke their leg or something like that, and then the Rangers had to pick them up, transfer them, and they were like worried. Oh, what if it happens to me? I get scared and all that." And I was telling, yeah, I mean it can happen. There's always the bad sides of things, but you just gotta stick to the positives, stick to the excitement, stick to the good outcomes. And if the bad things happen, you'll navigate them, you'll figure a way. But when there's uncertainty, when there's the questions of what's gonna happen, this or that, the better path to think about is more to be, I'll do my best as much as possible to prepare myself, and I'll enjoy the rest. And if something bad comes, we'll make it through. So, thanks. I feel like there's someone out there. At least like me talking to something else makes me feel like there's somebody out there in this trip with me, which makes it more fun. And I was kind of hesitant on doing this vlog thing because I don't want to be one of these vloggers that post online and like try to get creds and fame. But I think as a personal project, it's just fun, right? Being able to, even if nobody sees these, being able to look back at it and watch it and remind myself all these things. I think it's gonna be fun. So, thumbs up. Cheers. Hi, we are doing the Hickman Bridge, the natural bridge trail now. And as you can see, that is the natural bridge, and we're gonna go under it and do a loop. And you see other cool rock formations. It's so beautiful, majestic, grand. I also like these colors of the rocks. Very pretty. We're going very, very underneath it. You can see it. Oh wow. This is really cool. There's also the Overlook Trail where you can see the bridge from an overlook. But we decided to do it underneath because this was a shorter trail compared to that one. And for the rim overlook as well. Another thing is that it's like goes all the way like 2 miles one way to see not the bridge overlook, but the proper overlook that looks at like the waterfalls. That's quite a lot, because coming off it from round trip, it will be 4 miles and like it's a pretty steep. I didn't have the energy today to do that, and then thought I'll skip this and just do this Hickman Bridge. This is gonna be my final trail in Capitol Reef. I think Capitol Reef is like very nice. Even the Farquaad area, the district that I visited only, it's pretty gorgeous. You got these like beautiful red rock formations, you got these holes, you have the washes, lots of things to do here. It's not as grand, as majestic as Bryce Canyon and Zion, I agree, but still it's really nice if you're in the area. I would recommend it. And there are also other districts that has very cool stuff. The Waterfall District and the Cathedral Valley District. I highly recommend that you guys check those out if you have time. I'm also gonna do one photo here because I think, I'm not sure if you guys are able to see, but this view is like really beautiful. Up here we have the beautiful structure up ahead. We have trees. I love getting frames. 3 frames. I love 3 frames. Beautiful. I think amazing picture. Wow, that view is like so gorgeous. Another thing I wanted to tell is I also shared my thoughts about the graffiti and the petroglyphs, plus the pioneer register. I shared that my idea about like we can have a book or like online QR code where people can log off or like provide their sketches if they want to, so that they can leave a mark that they were here as well to other people. There was a young girl, a park ranger, who listened to my thoughts. She liked it. I wasn't sure if she was just being nice that she liked it or if she was genuinely believing in it. But I told her, hey, you know, if you like this idea, you can share it with others as well. And yeah, go for it. And I think I feel proud of it. I shared my idea. This is, I guess, how community building happens. I share my idea, and then other people also promote it further if they like it, and if they don't like it, I shared my idea. So that's how it goes, right? That's the power of the people. Bottom-up approach, step by step. I'm taking more pictures here. It's because it's so lovely. Just look at this view. Oh man. Yeah, this view is too good. You can see me as well here. Shiny. Yay. Thumbs up. So beautiful. I think from here I'll start heading towards Canyonlands. It's still pretty early in the day. To be a little bit different and change my style of traveling a little bit today, I'll do some day driving and get to see maybe the sunset in Canyonlands National Park, another national park, or if I cannot reach it by then, I'll see some sunset at some other point. Today, Capitol Reef was like kind of half day, given that we were only visiting the fruitier area, and I'm me being a little bit tired from the past days, but it's still pretty nice. I'm glad I came. There was definitely more solitude here, more by yourself. Only maybe like I've actually never seen anybody on the trails other than me. I've seen other people starting different trails at the same parking lots, but not on the same trail as me, which is kind of weird normally, but it's also Monday. Maybe that's why. But pretty nice. Let's start walking a little bit. Oh man, look at the beautiful shapes of these trees. Oh, cacti. Okay, cool. We hadn't seen cacti in this park before. Now it's the first time we're seeing it. Cool. Oh man, that being out there is like gorgeous. On the road to Canyonlands, I'm also gonna try to have a nice lunch, maybe another diner. I don't want to eat burger again or sandwich. I want to eat some warm food, nice food. Yeah, but dude, yeah, it's so pretty out here. Also, I haven't shown you much, but the little Frutia historical district was also very nice. They had a barn, Gifford House, the museum. Apparently, they serve pie there, and it's gonna be reopened back in March 14, national, like the pie day, 3.14, maybe 159. There was a time my middle school had a competition where they were like, okay, for the pie day, they're gonna have the competition and you're gonna memorize the numbers, the decimals of pi, and whoever gets to remember the most is gonna win. I memorized like 100 at most, and I was like, fuck it. It's too difficult. It's so difficult to memorize it. And there was this girl I met in Stanford Summer School back in 2015 when I was in high school. She held records for from the woman side, like the highest memorizing numbers, digits of pi at one point of time. She would actually go to these competitions, like worldwide competitions, and memorize it and say it out a lot, like so many decimals. It's a little bit crazy, but that was her thing. That was pretty cool. Yeah, some more memories. I think I'm gonna stop recording now to preserve battery, but you see really beautiful views out here. So, bye.
Hi friends, welcome back. We left Capitol Reef after that beautiful hike up the Hickman Bridge. We started driving to Canyonlands National Park on the East 24 highway. And I have to tell you right now, the view that you see is more plain. But if you had seen what I saw like 45 minutes ago, around like the Cathedral Valley areas of Capitol Reef National Park on the East 24 highway, driving there, it was absolutely nuts. Like the views were incredible. The Cathedral Valley sections, very interesting land, like more like Badlands vibes, but at the same time you have like these Utah like red colored rock formations, and then Badlands like washes. And on the other hand, there was another mountain towards the south, and that mountain had snow on top of it. It was unbelievable. It was crazy. It was nuts. I think Capitol Reef, probably the Cathedral Valley, has a lot of like beautiful areas that's only accessible by high clearance vehicles. And I think like as I had expected that like the part I saw in Capitol Reef, like the Frutia area, was gonna be nice, but like not gonna be the whole national park, and there is more to it. And seeing that on the highway, I realized, yeah, like Cathedral Valley would be an area I would definitely want to go back to Capitol Reef and like do that again. It just was unbelievable. I wish I had recorded back then. I didn't, because I was charging the GoPro, and I didn't plan it that drive is gonna be so pretty. I didn't know that. I did research it out. 100%. If you're ever going to Capitol Reef area, even if you do not end up going inside Cathedral Valley, at least do that drive. See all these like beautiful landscapes. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the Canyonlands National Park. That's the plan. And maybe if you get lucky, like catch the sunset there. Mainly visiting like the islands in the sky area. I'll stay somewhere close by, and in the morning also do Canyonlands National Park, like a few more hikes or like see more sites, and then maybe in the afternoon I'm thinking of like heading out back into starting like heading out back into San Francisco, and we're gonna pass through Great Basin National Park. Unfortunately, Great Basin won't have everything open. We won't be able to go up to the peak there of the mountain because before they close it up before winter. And right now the Landmark Caves also there is closed. So we probably only gonna like experience like 50% of Great Basin National Park. But still like we have to check some things out on our way back to San Francisco, and the other route like will go through like south to the areas that we didn't come through, and those will be like too far for us to go back to San Francisco before the timeline that I want to arrive. So we have to use either the Great Basin or the from like Salt Lake City, use the main highway to go back. We could stop by at Park City one day and like snowboard there as I have the Epic Pass, but I feel like I don't want to risk staying longer in this area and having the need that if anything goes wrong, snowstorms happen, something goes wrong, that I have to like make all my way to San Francisco. I want to a little bit make progress so that maybe I come back by next Friday, Saturday. Right now, today is Monday, so we have time for that. But in general, after Canyonlands, I will be starting going back to the west because almost we will be around like Colorado border once we reach Canyonlands. So yeah, that's the plan. Remember, like I was bored a little bit sometime of today, but that boredom was like only lasted for like an hour, and then so since then I've been enjoying it a lot back again, and also tried calling a few friends of mine. The US ones are like working, so I didn't call them, but I called some friends in Germany, and it was like their night time to have conversations. Like we talked a few minutes, which was really nice. And unfortunately, given that these areas are very remote, we couldn't talk further because maybe got cut off. But still, that was like a nice positive social interaction. And yeah, see you soon. Yay, we are back on highway. This is I-17. We are pretty close to Grand Junction in Colorado. So that's going towards Grand Junction is where like you're crossing the border between Utah and Denver. So like we actually entered Utah from the southwest corner, but now we're in the lower west corner. We're going to Canyonlands National Park. We are an hour away, and we want to see the sunset there. I want to see the sunset there. Not me, it's just me and my car. And in the meantime, like I looked online, somebody said Red View Overlook is really nice because in the sunset you actually want to see the like sun bringing the lights onto the cliffs. So we'll try to go there and see if it works. What the Reddit person had recommended, I trust them. It also makes sense what they were talking about. Like instead of actually like seeing something facing like west side, seeing something east side where the cliffs are getting the light from the west. That makes sense to me, and I'm gonna try to be there in time before the sunset. It will take me an hour, 15 minutes to drive up there, and sunset will happen probably in an hour and 30 minutes. So we have like very little short margin, but we're gonna try to make it happen. And in the meantime, just explore other parts of the park and get to see places, and then we're gonna figure out where should we stay the night afterwards. That part I haven't figured that out yet, because I didn't think I would be visiting Canyonlands in the daytime. I would just be at Capitol Reef all day. So, yeah, I'll talk to you in a bit. We're getting closer to Canyonlands National Park. Right now, we are like 20 miles away. Canyonlands National Park is also next to the Dead Horse State Park as well. I heard really good things about that one too. Who knows, maybe depends on our time. We can get the Canyonlands National Park tomorrow. Maybe we'll also see the Dead Horse State Park as well together. Yeah. This is the view so far, going on our way. Let's see. Hopefully we catch the sunset. If not, it's still gonna be fun. It's still gonna be cool. It's long. I can't believe like we're almost like at Colorado. Because initially when I was leaving for this trip, my housemate asked me, "Oh, are you gonna go all the way to Canyonlands, almost like at Colorado?" I said, "Nah, bro. Like, I won't be having as much time. I can't go that far. I don't want to go that far." But then I ended up coming this way. But one of the reasons I thought I wouldn't come up this far, because I thought I would go to Grand Canyon, and I would also maybe like see Antelope Canyon in Page, Arizona. I thought I would go to these like south regions, but we changed our mind, given that like the hike I wanted to do in Grand Canyon requires multiple days. So I thought, okay, let's just finish up all the like national parks in Utah. Because previously I had been to Arches, but I haven't been to the other ones. So now when we visit Canyonlands, we will be done. But that in the sense that we have checked the box. But still, I want to go to some of the national parks again, because I fully didn't get to experience all parts of it. As I said, like in Zion, the Narrows, I want to do that, and Angels Landing if I get the permit. And for Capitol Reef, like I want to go to Cathedral Valley, the 4x4. Like a very big car that can handle all kinds of terrain. So this is the goal. Let's make it happen. I'll leave you to be on the road for a while, maybe like a few minutes. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. In the background, you can see the Rocky Mountains, like with the snows on them. Of course, Colorado. And yeah, it's on. yeah, today is a little bit cloudy, so you're not gonna get the best sunset. Like literally right above us are like the clouds, and given that we are already have a pretty high elevation, it says like the clouds are this. That's how it looks like. Hopefully we get lucky and it clears up. Alright, I'm gonna stop recording. We'll see you again soon.
On our way back from Grandview Overlook, we're walking back to the parking lot. Oh man, it's probably one of the most majestic views I've seen in my life. Definitely in the top 10 views. I had to rush a little bit, and there was a lot of adrenaline, so maybe I couldn't enjoy it as much in the sense of like calmness, seeing the sunset here. But I think it was very, very beautiful, and I kind of felt like, even though with limited time, I made it. Achievement I pushed through. That also made me feel pretty happy. But overall, it's incredible. Like the view here. Remember I was telling you how insignificant, how little we are as humans in this ecosystem, in this landscape. Again, I stand by that. I fully stand by that. Dude, it's crazy. Literally, it's crazy how all these systems are there. All the nature, all the balance, all the plants, all the animals. It is crazy. Yeah, I cannot comprehend. And yeah, you go back to real life in terms of the civilized life, the urban life, the capitalism, workforce, and all that. And then 2 weeks later, you forget almost everything about what you've experienced here. You go back to the daily struggles, you know, and you go back to old ways. Oh man, crazy. It's kind of sad. I wish all of us had the opportunity. I'm not gonna say privilege, because for me right now it's privilege. But what I'm wanting, everyone to have the opportunity to be able to reset from time to time, and remind ourselves that all in all, we're just a little speckle of dust in this huge environment, and everything that we worry is meaningless, except your health, or if you lose somebody else that you care for. Those things are pretty valid, you know, that's an inevitable, or disablement, illnesses, those are inevitable. It's pretty difficult to fight with them. But everything else, you know, you have your life, you have the people, yeah, financial struggles, everything. It is very difficult, and as a person who doesn't go through them as much, of course I cannot relate as much, and I'm sorry for that. But if we could all go beyond one level and go back to the basics, it's just, life is very beautiful. We have been given this gift to be able to live and experience, and we should strive to go for the good experiences and not the bad ones as much as possible. And sometimes we cannot help but go through the bad ones, but yeah, just things will be good, man. Things will be good. Just remember, you're a human and you were given this life. It's so easy, right, for me to preach all these when I'm fucking going on road trips, paying $100 a night to a motel, paying so much for my gas, food, going all around when there's no responsibility, no person that depends on me, right? It's so easy for me to say, yeah, I agree. But still, despite, this is what we should strive for. Doesn't matter how privileged I am or not. This is what we should strive for: humanity, being in balance with nature, with other people around us, and fighting for good despite all the odds. That's what we should do. Look at this. I'm not sure if you can even see because I don't have lights on this GoPro, but it is so gorgeous. It's so fucking gorgeous. Hell yeah, man. This is it. This is it. You get to see one of the stars coming up, or maybe it's a planet, not sure, but it's becoming nighttime. Wow. There's a light that never goes out. Take me out tonight. Take me anywhere, I don't care. Driving under lights, I've never because I got no one to take me out tonight. Take me anywhere. If a double-decker bus comes and crashes us, to die by your smile is such a heavenly way to die. And it to die by your smile, such a heavenly way to die. Yeah, I fucked up the lyrics, but you get the gist. Lately, I've been listening to that song a lot. All fucking due to Rushabh Bora, one of my best friends. Take me out tonight. Take me anywhere. Driving on the road. Hi. Have a good night. thanks to Rishabh Bar. I'll play that song in the car for now. This is it. I didn't start recording on my way back to the hotel today because I was a little bit tired with the drive, and I thought maybe let's do it in the room because I haven't shown you the kind of hotels that we were staying at. And this looks pretty fancy, right? Like it looks pretty established, pretty nice. I mean, normally this setup is like very typical for hotels, like motels around the highways and stuff. But this one is like very nice because it feels like brand new. They just like redid it, refurbished a lot of the things. Typically, you have the same setup but like just older furnitures, maybe like 20-30 years down old at least, but this one is pretty new. Even like this has a button here that you can press, and then ooh, this is so fancy. I mean, this is not your typical motel hotel, and this was one of the cheapest ones so far because it was also a weekday. This was like $77 with tax included. Previous places that I stayed at were in Utah around the national parks were around like 90 to 100 because it was also weekend. And I think this city right now, I'm in Springville, sorry, not Springfield, Springville, not the Springfield of Simpsons, Springville. Probably there are a lot of like different hotels, so, and because it's a weekday, they just like did a very much cheaper price compared to the other ones. I'm happy, like I get really good quality. Throughout these trips, I had actually been staying mostly at Basin. They had been the one on booking.com, typically the cheapest and like highest rated ones. And thank you, Basin. All of the ones that I stayed at has been pretty good. And interestingly, as I said before, all of them, the receptionists were Indian. Very interesting. I want to learn more about like this Indian motel connection, because India as a culture, they're like very good with like providing for guests and like taking care of guests. They're like great hosts. I wonder if that has anything to do with the motel business, or if it's just Dazen is owned by some Indian related thing and they employ a lot of Indians. I don't know. I mean, I'm happy. They're doing their job pretty well. So just something interesting that I've noticed. Other than that, okay, let's talk about like the plans a little bit. So let me do it this way. Let's put it here. I'm being so tired. I just wanna enjoy the bed a little bit. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I think majority of the national park session is over. Now I'm closer to Salt Lake City, closer to Provo, almost like 10 miles away from Provo. We are in Springville, Utah. I thought after Canyonlands, I redid some research and it seems like Canyonlands, majority of the people go in the islands in the sky section, and that was the section that I was previously at for the sunrise. And that section was great, but there are not many other things to do there. Then there's like the more popular other thing to do is like in the sunrise, go to the Mesa Arch and watch the sunrise from there. It's a beautiful arch and you see the sunrise rising up underneath the arch, and you can take a lot of great pictures with also the background of the general Canyonlands area, all the interesting landscapes that we had seen in the sunrise. Sunset. But for me, I knew I wasn't gonna wake up in the sunrise for that. And also the other parts weren't as good. But probably they're really good, the White Room Trail. But I just felt like do I really want to spend one night here and then spend the next day, even though I've seen the beautiful sunset and I've probably gotten like one of the best experiences in that park. Because I was a little bit stressed about like going back to San Francisco, and if how many days will it take, will there be snow, and I felt, yeah, let's just not stay one more day in Canyonlands and let's start turning back. And that has been the decision. I thought that made sense. I wish I had more time and I could enjoy Canyonlands fully, but I didn't have the time. And yeah, also both for Capitol Reef and Canyonlands, like they're very remote rural like regions, not even rural, very remote regions that are only accessible by high clearance cars, like cars that are higher and don't get hit, like more off-road cars. So I think if I would like to go there back again, and if I can, I will get one of those kind of cars and spend maybe like 1 week, like 3-4 days, and do those kind of things, because there are some parts, especially in Canyonlands, that you go down those areas in the canyons and you need at least like 2 days to go in and out for the trip. So you cannot just do a road trip and like visit them on a single day. They're like, you need to actually put effort in it, and I think that's also one of the reasons why for Capitol Reef, for example, like it's not as popular, because most of the people just do the things that are doable within the road trip. And yeah, compared to Zion, Bryce, Capitol Reef doesn't feel as spectacular, but at least the Canyonlands was very spectacular. That like sunset view was so beautiful, so gorgeous. So what's the plan? We're heading back to San Francisco, but we're not going to do that in just a single day. We want to make use of our time here now that we've come all the way to Utah. And I love snowboarding, and I do have Epic Pass. I have access to Park City. So my plan is tomorrow, maybe around like 10, 11, go to Park City. I mean, depends on like how much rest I can have and what time I wake up. But basically, go to Park City. It's an hour and 5-10 minutes away from here. And I'll rent my boards, and during the day I'll be snowboarding. And I asked some Salt Lake City friends. I told them about my spontaneous trip and if they're available to meet tomorrow night. Let's see if any of them show up. If they're available, that would be great. After that, I'm debating whether I should visit Great Basin National Park in Nevada, or I should just like drive straight to Reno from Salt Lake City, Park City area, and from Reno like go to Tahoe and snowboard in Tahoe a few days, like 1 or 2 days. I wanted to snowboard in Tahoe anyways, but I'm just trying to see if I should add the Great Basin as an additional landmark or not, given that most of the parts of Great Basin is going to be closed. It might not be worth it, and most likely I'll skip it, because I've also been to 5 national parks in the last 4 or 5 days, and it has been pretty intense, and I just wanna chill a little bit, do things I'm more comfortable. I'm also very comfortable in national parks, but like it requires energy. I mean, you're gonna say snowboarding also requires energy. Yes, it does, but it's kind of more like you just go to a single space and then just slide down. For me, I've been doing it for many years, so that feels very easy for me. But yeah, another thing with the travel that I wanted to share is that it feels like as if there's no routine in this adventure, right? Like every day we are in some different place. We don't know where we will sleep the night, where we want to head the next day. It's just like extremely spontaneous. But at the same time, there's still the routine, right? Like you wake up or you check into the hotel and like you prepare your setup like for the next day, you know. The toothbrush, like you put it out like toothpaste, and then you put all the chargers. I'm charging my laptop, I'm charging my GoPro, I'm charging my phone. I know which clothes I want to take in. I bring my suitcase up to the hotel, I bring it back to the car. There's still like those routine things, everyday things that you do. And it's kind of funny because I feel like now, the first couple days I was, again, like kind of nervous, even though I wanted to go on this adventure, kind of feeling, oh, how it's gonna work out and like what's gonna happen. But now it's like the routine. Now, like in the day, we wake up, we send it. In the night, we're tired, like we come to the hotel, we do our thing, and yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, maybe one of the days I'll just like set up my tent as well, but that will mean that I probably won't have as much capabilities to charge my phone, charge my GoPro, and if I don't charge my phone, that will be a disaster, both on navigating and also like my family not getting information from me. I have to, if I'm like gonna camp with my tent, I have to figure out like the energy problem, find a solution for that. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Everything has been going great so far. Thumbs up. Yeah, I've chatted a lot because I've been a little bit tired, but yeah, you got this. See you tomorrow.